A new survey from AAA Northeast is highlighting whether consumers plan to buy electric vehicles and when. And the big headline, the data shows the buzz around electric vehicles is fading fast, with over half of respondents saying they never plan to buy a fully electric car. Joining me now to discuss is Alec Slatky, Managing Director of Public and Government Affairs for AAA Northeast. Good to see you.
Thanks for having us.
Big shock in this survey was the level of interest purchasers had or really didn't have for an EV. Can you walk us through the numbers?
Sure. I mean, EV interest is still growing, but it's not growing as fast as analysts might have hoped. And we're seeing that a lot of people, 55% of people, said they have no intention of ever buying an electric vehicle. Obviously, those numbers might change as the market moves and public charging gets more accessible and there's more models on the market. But right now, there's a lot of folks saying they can't see themselves ever in an EV.
What are the main hesitations, do you think, in purchasing an EV?
Survey after survey, we see cost, range anxiety, and concern about public charging rise to the top of the list. And we're seeing that again in our survey. There's definitely concern about the number of public chargers. There's concern about, feeling confident in just getting behind an EV. Basically, a quarter of people that don't currently own an EV said they weren't confident at all in their ability to operate one. And there are some differences with how the braking and acceleration work. If you can drive a gas car, I'm confident that you can drive an EV, but people need to feel comfortable, and maybe, taking one for a test drive can help relieve that anxiety a little bit.
How is the charging infrastructure in our area? I mean, and was charge time a factor for those consumers?
The charging infrastructure in our area, like everywhere else in the country, I think leaves something to be desired. We're definitely seeing more public chargers come online, which is a good thing. I think what we heard loud and clear from consumers in this survey is they want the public charging experience to be comparable to filling up at a gas station. They want the timing to be similar, which it's not right now, and it's not going to be for the foreseeable future. That's kind of the way that EVs work in terms of their charging speed. But they want more chargers, and they want to feel safer if they're charging, let's say, in the middle of the night in a retail area where there's no foot traffic. So they want security cameras, they want lighting. Ideally, they want coverage from weather conditions like you might get at a gas station. So until people can feel confident that, the public charging experience is going to be pretty seamless no matter where they go, and especially when they're traveling, there's going to be some hesitation.
And these cars were meant to be the sustainable future of the roadways. What are the environmental impacts now of these decisions?
I think we still see that electric vehicles are more environmentally friendly, assuming that you drive them. If you just get an EV and it sits in the driveway and you drive it only occasionally, you're not going to get the environmental benefits of saving on gasoline usage. But I think that it's something where we're going to have to look at maybe plug-in hybrids might have more interest. We saw in our survey there was more interest in plug-in hybrids, but still a very significant chunk of people said they're not interested in either. They still want those gas cars. So I think there's going to have to be a lot of carrots over the next decade in terms of the number of models that are out there, bringing down the costs that are public charging to make sure that people feel comfortable making the switch.
Alec Slatky with AAA, thank you very much for joining us.